Have you ever felt like your heart was louder than the world around you, but you kept turning down its volume just to fit in? Have you ever laid awake at night, not because of fear, but because your soul was screaming, "There's more. There's so much more. I want to talk to you." Not the polished version of you, not the get it together, mask you wear to survive Monday mornings, but the wild, beautiful, messy masterpiece that lives under your ribs. The you that wants to run barefoot towards something that hasn't even been built yet. The one that dreams so big, so bold, makes people uncomfortable, even scared. And that's the point. You weren't born to be quiet. You weren't stitched together by the universe to dim your fire just because it makes the room sweat. You are not here to play safe, to shrink, or to silence that beautiful chaos inside your chest. You see, the world doesn't need more people who follow the map. It needs people who burn it and dance in the ashes. People who dream not just outside the box, but forget the damn box ever existed. And if your dream doesn't make someone raise an eyebrow, question your sanity, or slowly back away from your passion. It's not big enough. You don't need a green light from the world to start. You don't need a sign from the heavens, a perfect plan, 1,000 followers, or a diploma that says, "Dream approved." You don't need to be liked. You don't need to be ready. And you sure as hell don't need to be qualified. All you need is to decide. Decide that you're no longer going to wait for someone to see you before you show up. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't hand out permission slips to greatness. There is no gatekeeper standing between you and your dream, except the one you place there. Most people spend their lives walking in circles around their passion like it's sacred ground they don't believe they're worthy of stepping on. They look at their calling like it's a painting in a museum, meant to be admired, but never touched. And that's the tragedy. So many people will go to their graves with the best parts of themselves still locked inside their chest because they were waiting for permission. Permission from their family, from society, from their past, from the broken voice in their head that says, "Not you, not now, not like this." But guess what? That voice is a liar. It's a leftover echo from every time someone underestimated you. And now you've mistaken it for truth. It's not. You are not here to play small so others feel comfortable. You are not here to dim your light because someone else has sensitive eyes. You are not meant to survive quietly. You are built to ignite. When you were born, the universe whispered a blueprint into your bones. A mission, a madness, a melody that only you can sing. You can ignore it, bury it, deny it, or dress it up in excuses, but it never leaves. It aches to be expressed. It claws at your ribs when you try to live someone else's life. And it doesn't care what your RA summary says. Your dream doesn't check your grades. It doesn't care if you failed 5 times, lost your way, broke your heart, or disappointed your past self. Dreams are stubborn like that. They keep knocking. And they don't need permission. They just need one thing: your full, radical, unapologetic commitment. You have to say yes before you feel ready. Why yes before anyone claps for you? Why yes before it makes sense? Because the truth is, your dream isn't supposed to make sense to anyone but you. It's not supposed to be safe. It's supposed to wake you up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding. It's supposed to look impossible until you do it. It's supposed to feel like standing at the edge of a cliff, barefoot, arms wide open, screaming, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway." That's commitment. Commitment doesn't mean confidence. It means showing up scared. It means looking foolish. It means stumbling, choking on your own doubt, and still taking the next step. It means loving your dream so much that you're willing to be misunderstood for it, mocked for it, left behind for it. Because it's yours. No one else has to believe in it. That's your job. You don't need validation to begin. The only thing you need is to make a decision so strong, so real, so soul deep, that the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself around your belief. This is not about waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. Always was. Because if you keep waiting for permission, you'll spend your life asking questions like, can I? Should I? What if I fail? But when you commit, everything changes. The questions turn into declarations. I will. I am. I must. Commitment is when you stop playing tug of war with your dream and finally let it pull you across the line. And it doesn't matter who claps when you cross, because in that moment, you'll finally realize you didn't need permission. You were the permission. Fear doesn't show up to stop you. Fear shows up to point the way. It's not a wall, it's a door. But most people see fear and run the other way. They treat it like a stop sign when really it's a neon arrow flashing THYY to our STNY. The thing is, fear never visits the comfortable places. It doesn't hang out in mediocrity. It doesn't knock on the doors of people who are playing small or walking in circles. Fear shows up the moment you touch something true. Have you noticed? Right when you finally speak up. Right when you say, maybe I can do this. Right when you put your soul into the world. That's when fear gets loud. That's when your stomach twists. That's when your hands shake. Why? Because you're getting close. Fear isn't the enemy. It's the evidence that you're on to something real, something alive, something that matters. You feel fear because you care, because your heart is awake, because you're standing at the edge of a life that's bigger than the one you've been living. And edge, that's the holy place. But most people back away from it. They retreat. They say, not now, maybe later, when I'm ready. But let me tell you something the world doesn't say enough. You won't feel ready. Not for the things that really matter. You won't feel ready to write that book. You won't feel ready to leave that safe job. You won't feel ready to start that company, sing that song, move to that city, or say yes to something that scares the hell out of you. You'll feel terrified. You'll feel like a fraud. You'll feel like you're about to be exposed and laughed at. But that's how you know you're not wasting your life. Fear is part of the process. It's the music playing in the background while you make something beautiful. It's the wild drumbeat that accompanies every single bold move. Because when you do something that matters, when you take your dream seriously, it's like waking up a sleeping dragon. And you know what? That's good. That means you're alive. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's not a dream, it's a plan. Dreams are messy. Dreams are unpredictable. Dreams are terrifying. But they're also true. And the people who change the world aren't the ones who were fearless. They're the ones who were scared and did it anyway. They walked into the fire with trembling legs and clenched teeth. They showed up stuttering, sweating, and unsure. And they changed the world because they didn't wait to feel brave. You've got to be willing to move with the fear. To hold its hand, look it in the eye, and say, you can ride with me, but you don't get to drive. Your fear is not a prophecy. It's not a prediction. It's a compass. And it's pointing you right into the life you were born for. You don't overcome fear by running from it. You overcome it by meeting it head on, by doing the thing anyway, by proving to yourself, moment by moment, that you are more powerful than the lies it tells. Because that's what fear is. It's a liar dressed in a voice that sounds like yours. But underneath the panic and doubt is a deeper voice, a quieter one, the voice of your soul. It says, keep going. It says, this is the way. It says, the fear means you're close. Don't you dare stop now. The truth is, your life is waiting just beyond that fear. It's on the other side of the stage you don't feel ready to step onto. It's in the words you're afraid to say out loud. It's in the dream you've been hiding because you're scared it might not work out. But what if it does? What if the fear is the final gate you have to walk through before everything changes? Wouldn't it be worth it? Fear only wins when you stop, when you shrink, when you hand it the keys and say, okay, you can drive. But when you say, no, I'm moving forward. Even if my voice shakes, even if I fall, even if I fail, that's when you take your power back. That's when the world starts to open. That's when you stop surviving and start living. So don't run from the fear. Don't numb it, bury it, silence it, listen to it, then walk straight through it. Because fear doesn't show up to scare you away from your dream. It shows up to lead you straight to it. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for permission, the right mood, the perfect timing, or a moment when all the voices in your head are finally quiet. That moment isn't coming, and it doesn't need to, because the dream that's been haunting you, the one you carry in the back of your mind like a secret flame, That thing doesn't care about your timing, doesn't care about your schedule, your bank account, your resume, or whether your hands are shaking while you try. It only cares that you begin. Begin messy, begin loud, begin terrified, begin unsure. Just begin. There's a kind of fire you need to carry inside you, one that burns brighter than your doubt. That kind of fire, it comes from madness, not the kind that breaks you, the kind that awakens you. You have to be a little mad to believe you can write a story the world hasn't heard before. You have to be a little wild to show up as yourself in a world that keeps asking you to fit in. You have to be a little dangerous to say, I'm not going to live this life on autopilot. The ones who change everything, the artists, the visionaries, the inventors, the rebels, they weren't logical, they weren't practical, they weren't reasonable, they were bold, they were passionate, they were moved by a kind of magic that can't be measured. That magic, it's in you. It's always been in you. But you've been told to tame it, to be careful, to take the safer road, the steady path, the guaranteed outcome. You've been told to keep your voice down, your head down, your dreams small. Because small doesn't scare people. Small doesn't challenge anything. Small doesn't demand attention or change or risk. But you weren't born for small. You were born for real. You were born for wild. You were born for the kind of life that makes your eyes light up and your skin hum with purpose. Here's the thing, the magic only shows up when you do, not when you plan forever, not when you wait for a sign, but when you show up. When you say, I don't know how this ends, but I know I can't ignore it anymore. When you say, this might not work, but if I don't try, I'll never know who I could have been. That's the moment things start to move. That's when doors open, people appear, coincidences align, and life begins to respond to your energy. Not your perfection, not your strategy, your energy, your passion, your madness, your magic. You see, there's beauty in the chaos. There's brilliance in not knowing what the hell you're doing, but doing it anyway. That's where growth lives. That's where you live. You've got something inside you that no one else has. Not a copy, not a version. A one-of-a-kind storm of heart, grit, scars, dreams, failures, hopes, and fire. That's what the world needs. Not another polished clone, not another checklist achiever, but you. Unfiltered, unapologetic, undone, and still unstoppable. The truth is, you're never going to feel fully ready. You're never going to know exactly what to do. And guess what? That's not a flaw. That's the doorway. So paint before you know how. Speak before you find the perfect words. Build the thing before you know if anyone will come. Because they will feel your madness and they will trust your magic. What you're here to do, only you can do. And the longer you wait, the louder the regret gets. But regret is not the only voice. There's another one, quieter, but braver. It's saying do it anyway. Do it scared. Do it with shaking hands and a pounding heart. Do it like your soul depends on it. Because maybe it does. You don't have to know the outcome. You don't have to know the whole path. You just have to move. Say yes. Take one step, burn the script, and let your heart write a new one. You were not built to tiptoe. You were built to leap. You were built to disrupt. You were built to do something so true that it wakes people up just by existing. Do it with madness. Do it with magic. But for God's sake, do it. There's this illusion we all grow up with, that if something is good enough, the world will notice. That if you're talented or kind or brilliant or gifted, then the world will come knocking at your door, clapping with open arms, saying, we've been waiting for you. But that's not how it works. That applause, that recognition, that spotlight, it doesn't show up first. It follows after you've clapped for yourself, after you've stood up and declared, I believe in what I have, even if no one else sees it yet. You don't get to wait for the world to approve your dream. You have to approve it yourself, because here's what's real, the world is busy, distracted, loud, saturated, and unless you make noise from your own chest, no one's going to hear you. You want people to show up for you first. You want them to believe in you. You have to believe when it's uncomfortable. When your voice shakes, when you feel like an imposter, when the room is silent and it feels like no one cares, that's when it matters the most. Because the most dangerous lie isn't that you're not good enough. It's that you're only good enough when other people say so. And that lie keeps you stuck. It keeps you waiting for a yes from a crowd that hasn't even heard your voice yet. But let's be clear, their applause is not the proof of your worth. It's not the green light for your destiny. It's just noise. Nice noise. Encouraging noise. But it's not the engine. The engine is you. The fire is you. Nobody knows what's inside you better than you. No one has heard the song your soul is trying to sing. No one else lies awake at night feeling the weight of the thing you're meant to do. So why would you wait for them to clap first? You have to become your own standing ovation. You have to wake up every morning and say, what I'm building matters, even when no one's watching, even when no one is reposting, sharing, liking, texting, or clapping, because applause is reactive. But purpose is proactive. Clapping for yourself isn't arrogance. It's alignment. It's recognizing that your voice, your vision, your dream is valid, even in its unfinished, awkward, imperfect stage. You don't need to prove anything to anyone before you begin. You don't need a sold-out crowd to call yourself an artist. You don't need a contract to call yourself a writer. You don't need 1 million views to say, I am worthy of being seen. You just need to start with what you have, where you are, as you are. Even when your hands tremble, even when your voice cracks, even when you're not sure if you're good enough, because courage isn't the absence of doubt, it's action in the face of it. And guess what? The world will clap one day when they finally see it, when the book is written, when the stage is built, when the dream has roots and wings. But don't build your dream on that hope alone. Build it on something stronger. Build it on you, on the knowing that what you're doing has worth before anyone else agrees. Because the most powerful applause you'll ever hear isn't from the crowd. It's the sound your soul makes when you finally show up, and you have to keep clapping when no one else does. You have to keep clapping when you fail, when you fall, when you release something into the world and it doesn't echo back the way you hoped. That's silence. It's not rejection. It's a sacred moment. It's the space where only the brave keep going. It's the proving ground between who you were and who you're becoming. You are not behind. You are not too late. And you are not too invisible. You're just in the quiet part of the song, right before the crescendo, right before the rise. So keep clapping. Keep clapping when your first post gets 2 likes. Keep clapping when the only audience you have is your reflection. Keep clapping when the results don't match your effort yet. Because every masterpiece started in a quiet room. Every world changer began unknown. Every legend once stood where you're standing, unseen, unheard, but unshakable. Clap first, clap loud, clap proud, because the world won't clap until you do. And once they hear your hands, they'll never forget your sound. You weren't born to be a performance. You weren't born to be a watered down version of someone else's comfort zone. You weren't born to twist yourself into 1,000 different shapes just to fit in rooms that were never built for your soul. And yet, somewhere along the way, you learned how to shrink, how to smile when you were breaking, how to stay silent when you were burning inside, how to nod along when everything in you screamed no. You learned how to play the part, to be digestible, to be palatable, to be acceptable. You started hiding your edges because they made others uncomfortable. You started dimming your spark because someone once told you were too much. You started building a version of yourself that could walk through the world unnoticed, unbothered, and untouched. But in trying to make everyone else comfortable, you forgot what it feels like to belong to yourself. Let me remind you, you don't owe the world your silence. You don't owe them your obedience, your politeness, your predictability. You don't owe anyone a mask just so they'll love you. Because love that only survives when you hide, that's not love. That's control dressed up in affection. You owe yourself your truth. You owe yourself your wholeness, your wildness, your weirdness, your wonder. You owe yourself the kind of life that feels like home, not just to others, but to you. Home isn't a house. Home is when your soul finally exhales. Home is when you stop editing yourself in every room. Home is when your voice no longer trembles when you speak your truth out loud. You have spent enough time being a shape shifter changing who you are based on who's watching, what they'll say, or who might leave. But that's not freedom. That's self-abandonment, and you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to be everything for everyone. You don't have to be the fixer, the pleaser, the peacemaker, the achiever, the one who always smiles and never breaks. You are allowed to be real. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to take up space exactly as you are. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not wrong for saying, this version of me isn't working anymore. You are not weak for walking away from things that once felt like home, but no longer nourish you. You get to evolve. You get to shed skins. You get to stop pretending. You get to say, I'm not this anymore, and go chase what is, because the people who truly love you will meet you there. They will cheer for your becoming, not mourn the version of you they once knew. The ones who don't, let them go. You are not responsible for the disappointment of those who only loved the version of you that betrayed your own heart. You don't need to explain your growth to those who aren't willing to grow with you. You don't need to apologize for the healing that made you louder, braver, softer, freer. This is your life, your one shot, your one chance to be real. And if you spend it being who the world wants instead of who your soul longs to be, then what was the point? You are not here to be liked. You are here to be you. You are here to rise, to roar, to rest, to reclaim every part of you that had to be hidden just to survive. And yes, it's terrifying. Yes, it might shake your relationships. Yes, it might disappoint people. But the greatest loss isn't losing people. It's losing yourself trying to keep them. Start choosing the version of you that feels honest, even if it's messy, even if it's misunderstood, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone but you. Because when you finally stop performing, when you finally take the mask off, when you finally say, this is me, no more hiding, that's when you'll find the peace you've been chasing. That's when you'll finally feel like home. And the world doesn't need another echo. It needs your voice, not the version of you that plays it safe. Not the one that stays quiet to be liked. Not the one that gets applause for fitting in, the real one, the one you buried. The one that aches to come alive. You don't owe the world a version of you that doesn't feel like home. You owe it truth. You owe it you. There's a reason that dream won't let go of you. There's a reason it keeps whispering late at night when the world is quiet and you finally hear your heart speak. There's a reason that vision keeps visiting you over and over again like a sacred memory from the future. Because it's yours. And if it's in you, if it's truly, honestly burning in you, then it's for you. Not by accident, not by coincidence. Not because you saw someone else do it, because it chose you. You see, dreams don't randomly land in hearts. They're not assigned like homework. They call to the ones who are built to carry them. Even when those people don't feel ready, even when they feel too broken, too far behind, too old, too young, too messy, too scared. The dream doesn't care about your excuses. It only knows one thing: you're the one it picked. And what breaks my heart is how many people walk away from that dream. How many bury it under real life or someone else's voice. How many believe the lie that if they were really meant to do it, it would have already happened by now. But that's not how destiny works. Dreams don't come to life in a straight line. They show up in fragments, in feelings, in flashes. They grow in the dark through pain and doubt and silence. They evolve with you, becoming more honest, more urgent, more true the longer they stay hidden. And that longing you feel when you think about it, that ache that lives in your chest when you see someone else doing the thing you know you were meant to do, that's not jealousy. That's a reminder. That's your soul knocking. That's your future begging you to answer. You don't feel that fire for no reason. You don't cry over things that don't matter. You don't daydream about something over and over unless it's trying to tell you this is a part of who you are. And maybe you've spent years pushing it down. Maybe you've been told to be practical, to be safe, to be realistic. Maybe you're scared it's too late now, that you missed your shot, that someone else got there first. But listen closely. If it's still in you, it's not over. If it still lights you up, if it still keeps you up at night, if it still brings you to tears or makes your chest tighten in the best and worst ways, then it's still alive. And if it's alive, it's possible. No one else needs to understand it. No one else needs to believe in it. No one else even needs to see it. You just need to trust it. You just need to honor it. You just need to stop abandoning it every time fear walks in the room, because this world has enough people who gave up. It has enough people who said, "I'll try later," and never did. It has enough silence, enough regret, enough unspoken dreams gathering dust on the shelves of forgotten hearts. But it doesn't have your voice. It doesn't have your version of that dream. It doesn't have your words, your art, your solution, your idea, your story. And maybe it's hard. Maybe it looks impossible. Maybe it's so big it scares you to even say it out loud. But that's exactly why you need to chase it. Because you're not supposed to live a life that fits perfectly into other people's expectations. You're not here to live a copy-paste existence. You're here to build what only you can. So if it's in you, really in you, don't let it rot there. Don't let it die just because the road is unclear. Don't let it go quiet just because the world hasn't clapped yet. Feed it, speak to it, move toward it. One scared, stubborn, beautiful step at a time, because if it's in you, it's for you. And if it's for you, it's yours. No matter how long it takes, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many voices tell you you're dreaming too big, they don't get to decide what's meant for you. Only your heart does. So listen to it. Hold the dream like it's already real, because if it's in you, it already is. Somewhere along the way, someone taught you that being liked was everything. That if people liked you, then you were doing life right. That if no one was uncomfortable, if no one questioned you, if everyone smiled and nodded and approved, you were winning. But let's be real, the most unforgettable people in history, the ones who changed the game, rewrote the rules, set fire to the old world and lit up the sky, they were not liked by everyone. They were misunderstood. They were criticized. They were doubted, mocked, feared, and sometimes even hated. And still they kept going. Still they stood in their truth. Still they left something behind that echoed long after they were gone. You see, being liked is easy. Being remembered, that takes courage, because being remembered means standing for something. It means choosing your voice over their comfort. It means risking being misunderstood, misquoted, misjudged, just to live in a way that is real. You weren't born to tiptoe through life hoping not to offend anyone. You weren't made to dilute your soul just so people won't talk behind your back. You weren't built to wear 1,000 masks just to keep everyone else happy while you silently fall apart. You're here to speak, to move, to create, to do something with the little time you get on this earth. And here's the truth no one wants to say: if you're doing it right, not everyone's going to like you. If you're chasing your calling, some people will say you're arrogant. If you're loud in your truth, some will say you've changed. If you shine too bright, you will blind those who are still hiding in the shadows of their own fear. But you're not here to be dimmed. You're not here to be polite at the cost of your passion. You're not here to be predictable, palatable, or perfect. You are here to make people feel something. You are here to wake them up, to challenge them, to inspire them, irritate them, shake them, move them, even if it's uncomfortable, because that's what remembered people do. They disrupt, they disturb, they provoke, they push, not out of cruelty, but out of purpose. And maybe that's you. Maybe you've been playing small for too long, trying to fit into rooms that are too quiet, too clean, too fake. Maybe you've been breaking your own heart to keep the peace. Maybe you've been shrinking to keep their love. Maybe you've been hiding the best parts of you just to stay liked. But what if you stopped? What if you stopped editing your truth to fit inside someone else's fragile version of you? What if you said what you needed to say? What if you showed up in your fullness? What if you were done apologizing for being exactly who you are? The world doesn't remember the ones who played it safe. It remembers the ones who showed up boldly, fully, unapologetically. So no, you're not here to be liked. You're here to light something on fire in yourself, in others, in the world. You're here to leave a mark so deep that even time can't erase it. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real. And realness sticks. It survives past the applause. It echoes after the curtain falls. It's what people carry with them long after they've forgotten your name. They remember how you made them feel. And that's what you're building, not approval, but impact. Not likes, but legacy. So take the risk. Be the loud one. Be the honest one. Be the one who shows up and says, "Here I am. This is what I've got. Take it or leave it. I'm not shrinking for anyone anymore." You'll lose some people, sure, but you'll find your people. The ones who see you really see you and love you not for who you pretend to be, but for who you are. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to tiptoe. You're not here to beg for space. You're here to take it, to shake the ground when you walk in the room, to leave a legacy not of perfection, but of passion. Because being liked is temporary, but being remembered, that changes everything. So here we are. After all the doubt, all the noise, all the nights you almost gave up on yourself, you're still here. Still dreaming, still holding that fire. Maybe it's flickering, maybe it's faint, but it's still burning. That means something. That means everything. And I need you to hear this with every cell in your body. You are not random. You are not background noise in someone else's story. You are not a side character in this world. You are the storm. You are the spark. You are the writer, the architect, the wild, beautiful force that can rewrite everything if you dare to trust what's already inside you. This world, it doesn't need another copy, another filter, another perfect post or fake smile. It needs you. Raw, real. Reckless in your purpose, brave in your becoming, loud in your truth. So dream, but don't just dream. Dream so big it makes the world uncomfortable. Dream so loud it wakes the parts of you that forgot they were alive. Dream so wildly that fear packs up and leaves because it knows it can't live in the same room as that kind of courage. And when they stare, let them. When they doubt, keep going. When they leave, let them. Because you're not here to fit in. You're here to set fire to everything they told you was impossible. And when the world asks who gave you permission, you look them in the eye and say, "I did." Because this is your time, your story, your dream. And it's about damn time the world made space for the version of you that's done playing small. So go. Be unforgettable. Be undeniable. And whatever you do, don't you dare dream quietly.